welcome back to Lise Loves Paper. You might wonder why you're joining me in the middle of this layout instead of from the beginning. And we'll get to that, but first I wanted to share my, when I was scrapping with this kit, my son came down and he wanted to scrap with me. So I set him up on the other side of my desk with some scraps and whatnot, and he wanted me to share with everyone what he made. And this is what he made. He liked that photo, so I printed it off for him, and then he kind of went hog wild. And I love the colors he chose. So, share it real close. He was especially happy with his little X that he made because, oh, what was the X? There was an X. Oh, the X's in the paper. It matched the X's in the paper, so he used those photo corners to make an X. I thought it was so clever. But anyway, that was his little scrapbook. He says it's his first scrapbook. He might not remember. He's done another one that I keep it in his scrapbook album, and I'll do the same for this one because that'll be so fun to look back on. But anyway, that was his layout that he wanted to share with everyone. Okay, now back to this. So I'm here today not to share a typical process video, but to kind of explain where I've been. I was hoping to come back to you guys next with some Halloween-y fall mini album process videos, but this was in my way. So we're going to go back to last weekend, and I had the lovely outdoorsy kit from Mercy Tiara. And I had been saving that kit because I knew my husband and I were going to take a trip to Asheville for our anniversary, and I thought any pictures we took there would be perfect for this kit, so I'd been hanging on to it. And last weekend was the first time I got to scrap with it, and so I made some layouts, which I will share with you now. And they all use stuff from this kit, but they're not all like 100% from this kit, as you'll see. But I'll share so you get a little bit of a layout share. I love this one. It was the first one I did. As soon as I saw this paper in the kit, I knew I wanted to do something like this, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Let's see. Then I did this one. Love this one. It's got a little shaker pocket. You might have seen that in my recent haul video from Color Rush Studios. Hang on. Sorry. I've been trying very hard to remember to show you guys things up close. So, I will try. Okay, so this one here, up close. I love the flowers in this one. So 2 of these are from the background paper that I cut out, and this one's a foam thicker that came with this set, I think. Okay. And then this one. So as you can see, I made a lot of layouts that weekend. A lot of layouts. This was where I was starting to get a little fatigued because I had a real hard time embellishing it, I could tell. And my last one that I made, I do love this one. I love the background, the dark background. And then, so what happens when I scrap very often is that I know there are a couple photos that I want to scrap, and I'll start to pull together different papers that work well with the photo and together in the kit, and that's what happened here. So I had just finished this one, and I had set these aside already, and I knew that I wanted to use them together. I really liked, well, aside from this wood grain, ignore the wood grain, I had this paper and this photo, and I really liked how they went together. And so I started scrapping this, and I was just done. And I do that sometimes. I realize I need to step away. So what then happened, I do this very often, is I'll step away and I'll come back to it and then finish it, and I've got my mojo back and it works and I'm not as frustrated. But that didn't happen this time, and this happens fairly often to me. I feel like it becomes a crafty roadblock because it is sitting out on my desk, and you can't see the Craftalanche on either side, but there's stuff that coordinates with this kit and is part of this kit all over my desk, and this guy is not done, and it has been sitting here and sitting here, and every time I come down here I'm like, I still don't know what to do with that one, but I don't want to put it away. So I haven't been able to film anything else because I didn't want to get this out of the way. I know myself. I know that if I just put it off to the side, then it's just going to sit there forever and I'm not going to finish it. And I want to finish it because I do want to scrap these photos. I'm very happy with them. And I like the way these are playing. I still think it could be a nice layout. But it's taken my desk over and I can't do anything until I get it done. So I figured, rather than moving it off and doing a Halloween video, I was going to be real with you guys and kind of use this as a learning opportunity, a video. Like, what do you do when this happens to you? And if you do have things that I don't share, like tips that I will share later, if you have other ideas, please share them. I'm sure people would love to hear about them down there because I know I'm not the only one who does this. I think in the quilting, crocheting, knitting world, there's even a term for it called UFOs, unfinished objects, unfinished something, I don't know. And I didn't want this to become a UFO. So I'm coming back to it today in the hopes that I can finish it and give you guys a bit of a process video, as well as some tips for what do you do when you have a crafty roadblock like this. What are some things you can try? So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to go over those things in a voiceover here in a minute while you hopefully see me pulling this together. So here we go with that. Okay, before I jump into the tips for you, I just wanted to let you know that I just let this video play. I haven't really cut anything out. I really wanted you to see me struggle. I wanted you to join me on the struggle bus here and see that it's not always that simple and straightforward and easy, and I have times where it just doesn't work. So enjoy my struggle. But now to the tips. So my first tip I already kind of touched on earlier, and for me that is walk away. That's what I tend to use most often. If I am at a point where I'm like, I just don't know what to do next, or I'm struggling a lot, I will put it down and walk away and do something else. And normally this is like at the end of the day or the end of the weekend, and I'll let it sit for at least 24 hours, if not longer. And by the time I come back to it, I find that it's a lot easier. So stepping away is the biggest and the easiest for me, and that's my main tip. The next tip that I have for you is to put it aside and do something else crafty that's not scrapbooking if you're struggling with scrapbooking. So sometimes I will put this aside. I don't have a lot of other crafty things, but I'll put it aside and do like some art instead, or art journaling, or maybe I'll do some fussy cutting, but something that's completely a different tack. It's using my brain a different way, but still in a creative way. And I find that, again, when I come back to this, that now I'm excited for it again, and I've had some creative success in something else, and that kind of helps me want to continue to use that creative success with my layout. So that's been very helpful for me. The third tip, and what I will show you here in just a minute, what I used here was to get inspired elsewhere, to find new ideas that you're excited about. So for me, I was really struggling with the layout here. And I don't know if it's because this one was so weird for me because I didn't have a title in mind. A lot of times I have a title and I use that. Pause right here because I want to show you. I wanted to show you that it wasn't lining up there, so I needed to cut some off the top. Anyway, so I didn't have a title, and I think that that's one of the reasons I was struggling. I also very often will pick a photo and some papers, and a layout just makes sense in my brain, and I know where things need to be placed on the page, and I kind of go from there. And I didn't have any of that with this one. So what I ended up doing was I went to my Instagram account, and I do save things using that little save function they had, and I just kind of scrolled through some layouts that I had saved there until one caught my eye and I felt like it would really work with what I had going on here. And I'm going to pause it right here and show you this inspiration. So this is a layout by Kim Jenkins, and she's at Kim Jenkins Crafts on Instagram, and I will link her below so you can go see. She's amazing. But I did scrap lift a little bit her thing. I liked where she had the torn edges. It worked with the torn bits that I already had. And I really liked the 3 clusters, the main photo cluster and then the 2 other clusters on the right. And I felt like it would work with what I already had going on. So it was an easy sell for me, if you will. So that's where we are with that one. That was my 3rd idea. The next thing to try is use this layout to try something new to you, something you've been scared to try out before. So what I mean here is, like, if you're afraid of mixed media, try it on this layout because you're already not liking it. So what's the worst that could happen? I mean, it's just paper. So try it and see what happens. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you don't. And if you don't, it's kind of not a problem, because you already weren't liking it, you know? And that kind of may even give you permission to say, okay, I'm done with this, it's not working, and to let it go. So that's number 4, and that leads into my last one, what I just said. Number 5 is just let it go. There are no scrappy police out there that say that you have to finish every layout you start. I am very guilty of this. I want to start it, and I want to finish it. And I get into this mindset of, I have the stuff here. I've already torn these papers and I've printed this photo, and I get so into it that I have a hard time stepping back and just saying, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't have to finish it. Nobody is going to know that I didn't finish this, or that I tried this photo on a different layout first and it just didn't work. And a lot of those things I can put back in my stash. It was really not a big deal. I think with this one, though, it's really hard to do. It's easier to say, harder to do because of the sunk cost fallacy. You've put time and energy and even some, emotional, I don't know what the noun I'm looking for is here. But you've sunk all this time and energy into it, and it's really hard to just say, okay, it's not working, I'm going to give it up and let it go. But you can do that. Give yourself permission to do that. If you've tried these other things and it's just not working, it's okay. Let it go. So those are my 5 tips for you. Hopefully, if you encounter a crafty roadblock, those will help you. And again, like I said, if you have any other tips that I haven't covered here that work for you when you're in the same state, then please do share below and we can help each other out, because I know that this happens and I know that it's frustrating. So for the last 5 minutes of this, I guess I can just kind of hop back into it like it's a normal process video, and we can kind of talk through what I'm doing. So I've gotten to the embellishing stage here, and I was just kind of building up clusters and going through things here. I was trying to repeat colors. If you go see the original inspiration again, she does a very good job of mixing sizes and textures, like puffy stickers, and she throws some thread in there. And I kind of went with the tags there. I do have thread with the tags. Ooh, I'm going to pause here and tell you, I do this a lot. I don't know if I've ever talked about it before, but I use that tape. Once I get things lined up, I do not like moving them to tape them, so I will very often use a piece of that scrapbook.com low tack tape and tape it all together, and then kind of glue it a piece at a time so it stays the way I originally had it. I'm neurotic. Don't feel like you have to do that. But I completely derailed myself. I was aiming here to kind of sprinkle colors throughout. So I have that hit of yellow in the flowers and that little piece to the top left of the photo. So I brought it in with that little hello piece and the yellow tag. That yellow tag had macarons on it, which didn't work for my layout at all, but it didn't matter because I hid it behind everything. And then there's not yellow in that top one, but there's gold in the frame around there. By the way, that is my quote unquote title. I decided to just let it go and not do one of my signature big long titles. But I really enjoy how this one finally came together. Once I got into it and I had that inspiration, it really helped me to keep moving on it, and it didn't have to be perfect. I'm just throwing things together. I had something to work off of, which I think helped a lot. So this is the Rosie's Studio packet, and I love theirs because you get so much in there, but sometimes I just do not have the patience to get all of those teeny little pieces out and go through them. So I kind of like hold it up sideways like you see and just dig through it like this. And I'm sorry that you're not seeing all the pieces, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles today. So you see I'm bringing out some pink because I have that pink circular star piece there. So now I want to kind of sprinkle it in. I did add that little pink piece below the nature. Watch what happens here. So I place that go, see, do arrow there. Very often, the very first place that I put something is where it ends up. It doesn't matter how many other places I audition it. So watch me move it around, and I'm like, nope, it was best there. So we're getting close to the end here. I decided that was enough stuff. I'm handwriting my, just a little note of where it was when it was. This is my binder, one of two, with my enamel dots. Now, the black here looks really stark when you see it on this layout in the video, but I promise in real life it really makes a lot more sense because the quote-unquote title piece has happiness is just enjoying the moment. That's black. And there are a lot of like really deep, dark blacks in the photo. So it really does bring it in, and in real life it's not nearly so like, pow, black in your face. So we are coming up to the very end of this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, if you just want to drop a comment and commiserate that you too have crafty roadblocks. Don't forget to leave tips if you have them. We're finally done, and here are the close-ups. I love the gold and the layers. I think that's the other reason this inspiration spoke to me, because I really like layering things, and it had a lot of layers in it. And that really kind of let me go with what I'm comfortable with. So that's that. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon with some Halloween October mini stuff. See you soon. Bye.